Welcome to Rivne region, one of the most attractive regions for investment in Eastern Europe. The region is located at the intersection of the international highways and railways. There is an operating international airport near the city of Rivner. The advantageous geographical location turned Rivne into an important logistics center for exporting goods to Europe. Rivne region has impressive natural resources. There are more than 600 mineral deposits. This facilitates active development of manufacturing construction materials and glassware in the region. The supply of water resources in Rivne region is twice higher than the national average. Agricultural land is almost 46% of the total land area of the region. The natural and climatic conditions are favorable for the cultivation of grain and leguminous crops, sugar beet, potatoes, and vegetables. The livestock contributes 1/3 of the gross agricultural output. The availability of own raw materials led to the powerful development of the food industry in the region. Meat, milk and fermented milk, flour, bread and bakery production products are the largest sectors. Locals pick wild berries in the northern part of the region every year, and they have incredible harvests. 40% of the territory of the region is covered with forests. Timber stocks amounts to 120 million cubic meters. The availability of raw materials contributes to the development of the woodworking and furniture industry. It is the priority sector that offers the most promising opportunities for the furniture cluster development in the region.
We chose the Rivne region due to the presence of a sufficient amount of wood, a large industrial site, and the necessary infrastructure. An important investment factor is the operation of a significant number of furniture factories in the region. The local government understands the need to develop this sector and therefore promotes the creation of new industries. UkraineInvest is investing more than 400 million euros in the new manufacturing facilities. We install the most groundbreaking equipment on our production lines. We also focus on strategic development. That's why we created UkraineInvest Rivne, the first private industrial park in the region with an area of almost 90 hectares.
Qualified and competitive human capital, formed thanks to the high level of education, determines the economic potential of the region. Every year, more than 4,000 specialists in the food, forestry, textile, and machine building industries graduate from 24 vocational training institutions of the region. Furthermore, there is a unique on-demand training program in the region. The Regional Employment Services will train any number of specialists, free of charge, in accordance with the specific requirements and the Investors Program. Annually, more than 10,000 young specialists with the relevant majors, who know foreign languages, graduate from 13 higher educational institutions of Rivne region. This affects the rapid development of the service sector in the region. First of all, it relates to information technologies. The local government is making every effort to improve the investment climate. The city of Rivne, the regional capital, is among the top 10 European cities with the best economic efficiency. The city has modern infrastructure for business and recreation. Rivne region is a comfortable region for the development of your business. Contact us, and we will help you implement your project. Welcome to Rivne region, one of the most attractive regions for investment in Eastern Europe. The region is located at the intersection of the international highways and railways. There is an operating international airport near the city of Rivne. The advantageous geographical location turned Rivne into an important logistics center for exporting goods to Europe. Rivne region has impressive natural resources. There are more than 600 mineral deposits. This facilitates active development of manufacturing construction materials and glassware in the region. The supply of water resources in Rivne region is twice higher than the national average. Agricultural land is almost 46% of the total land area of the region. The natural and climatic conditions are favorable for the cultivation of grain and leguminous crops, sugar beet, potatoes, and vegetables. The livestock contributes 1/3 of the gross agricultural output. The availability of own raw materials led to the powerful development of the food industry in the region. Meat, milk and fermented milk, flour, bread and bakery production products are the largest sectors. Locals pick wild berries in the northern part of the region every year, and they have incredible harvests. 40% of the territory of the region is covered with forests. Timber stocks amounts to 120 million cubic meters. The availability of raw materials contributes to the development of the woodworking and furniture industry. It is the priority sector that offers the most promising opportunities for the furniture cluster development in the region.
We chose the Rivne region due to the presence of a sufficient amount of wood, a large industrial site, and the necessary infrastructure. An important investment factor is the operation of a significant number of furniture factories in the region. The local government understands the need to develop this sector and therefore promotes the creation of new industries. Kronospan is investing more than 400 million euros in the new manufacturing facilities. We install the most groundbreaking equipment on our production lines. We also focus on strategic development. That's why we created Kronospan Rivne, the first private industrial park in the region with an area of almost 90 hectares.
Qualified and competitive human capital, formed thanks to the high level of education, determines the economic potential of the region. Every year, more than 4,000 specialists in the food, forestry, textile, and machine building industries graduate from 24 vocational training institutions of the region. Furthermore, there is a unique on-demand training program in the region. The Regional Employment Services will train any number of specialists, free of charge, in accordance with the specific requirements and the Investors Program. Annually, more than 10,000 young specialists with the relevant majors, who know foreign languages, graduate from 13 higher educational institutions of Rivne region. This affects the rapid development of the service sector in the region. First of all, it relates to information technologies. The local government is making every effort to improve the investment climate. The city of Rivne, the regional capital, is among the top 10 European cities with the best economic efficiency. The city has modern infrastructure for business and recreation. Rivne region is a comfortable region for the development of your business. Contact us, and we will help you implement your project.
We are ready. Tell us when to turn it on. Good afternoon to everybody. Glory to Ukraine. Glory to the heroes. Welcome to Rivne region. We've got a really sunny day today, and I feel like saying thank you to each and every soldier protecting our land, for the opportunity to live, to develop, to grow, and to go forward to better Ukraine, to better economic development. Today we have gathered here for the topic, the furniture cluster, because as the region, we do position ourselves as the export region, kind of a window to EU, window to Europe. We can see that the majority of the furniture manufactured here in Rivne region is going for export to the EU. Also, Rivne region is the capital of the furniture industry of Ukraine, and we would like to show more about this topic for you today. That's why I would like to thank the organizers, the UkraineInvest agency. Please give a round of applause. It's the Rivne Regional State Administration. Also a round of applause, please. And also this activity today is with the support of the USAID Competitive Economics. We would like to thank to our partners that they are helping us to develop competitive economics, and particularly not only in Ukraine but also in our region. I have got one information announcement. We are right now during the time of war in here, and we have to look at the security. So if you hear the air raid alarm and if we get the according message, then we will have to leave temporarily this place, and you will be led towards the shelter where you can stay during this period, and then we'll come back to this room and continue. So right now we're going to start, and for the greeting I would like to invite Vitaly Koval, the head of Rivne Regional State Administration. Please welcome him.
Доброго дня, шановні друзі.
Good afternoon,
Радий
dear
вітати
friends.
вас на Рівненщині.
It is my pleasure to
Чітко
greet you
відчуваєте,
here
що
in
таке
Rivne
гостинність
region.
по-рівненськи,
Today you
коли
can finally
голова
feel
адміністрації
yourself what is hospitality according to
установою
Rivne region.
USAID та Офіс залучення інвестицій на Рівненщину, а сам поїхав.
You know, I'm trying to attract investment to Rivne region. However, me myself went to the capital itself. Unfortunately, we have to react towards the challenges. So welcome to the furniture capital of Ukraine. These are not just the words, those are the philosophy of the regional development. Starting from 2014, we have clearly decided to follow the path of making the furniture cluster here. Because we have got all the conditions. It's 40% of territory is covered with woods, with forests, and also the competitive human resources. And we know that even with the competition, the good competition is just creating opportunities for each and every entity. As of today, we can see that the strategy of our furniture cluster is working and the furniture industry is developing. Every person who works in the furniture industry here, I would say that 7 out of all of the relocated companies to the region, those are the enterprises of furniture cluster, furniture industry. We can also see that the growth of the export grew by 7%. Also, thank you for thanking to our advanced companies. As of today, 33% of all export from Rivne region is actually linked to woodworking and to furniture. It is my pleasure to greet the leaders of the furniture cluster in Rivne, and I would like to wish all of the participants of the forum that today you find new senses, new content, new cooperation and synergy. Because maybe, you know, maybe the key to the success, you know, we in Rivne Regional State Administration, we believe that definitely the key lies in the cooperation between business, authorities and universities. Therefore, the main condition for all development would be education. Starting from today, we will definitely put all of our effort, and I would like to remind all of the participants of the forum that we've got 31 educational centers where you can train your specialists. Here you can find the specialists, the experts, practitioners for yourself. Furthermore, we also moved forwards, and here you can order these specialists and practitioners for yourself according to your demands. I remind you about that. Please join the platform Rivne Work Hub, because it works quite effectively, and every person that is present here today can enter into the dialogue with Rivne Regional State Administration and order the specialists from vocational training, so that these specialists will be the golden hands of your companies. Please remember that there is this phrase that golden hands, they will never, fall passively down. They will be occupied, they will be employed, because we are creating the future of Ukraine by those golden hands. Please remember, apart from the moment that for the future Ukraine, apart from building and construction, we will definitely need the woodworking products, we will need the furniture, and it's going to be a new flourishing of the map of the furniture industry in Ukraine. Once again, I would like to thank UkraineInvest. I would like to thank USID, our really good partners, for leadership, for the support that you're providing for our region, for the development of our region. Rivne region will definitely follow that. Rivne region is looking for a good cooperation for the development. I wish you to have a really, really effective, successful cooperation day, so that at the outcome of the forum will be the new ideas that will allow us to move forward. Not looking back, but only with the belief in our victory. Glory to Ukraine. Thank you cordially. That was Vitaly Koval. And that was the greeting from Rivne region. Let's say the capital. Yeah, we are waiting for you here at home. And I would like to invite and give the floor to the next speaker today, our reliable partner, and I would like to thank personally to Sergei Tivkach, because we have been working together, shoulder to shoulder, given the challenges of the war. And despite this fact, the UkraineInvest agency is a really reliable helper in the cooperation with our foreign investors. I do hope that this cooperation is just going to get firmer. Thereby, I give the floor to Sergei Tivkach for his speech or presentation. Thank you. Thank you for inviting me today. Good afternoon to everyone. Thank you to Vitaly Koval. Thank you to the whole team of the Rivne Regional State Administration, particularly at these times. Everything that you do is really valuable. We can see that the region is developing, the region doesn't stop. And when we see such companies as Kronospan, Morgan Furniture, and all others companies that are working in the furniture cluster, they are also supporting Ukraine. They're not stopping, despite the difficulties. We are supporting them the way we can, according to our competence. Why are we here today? Because we have started during the last 5 months the format that is called Fit for Ukraine. This is the forum about investment, about transformation of Ukraine. In order for us to attract investment and provide the economic transformation of Ukraine, it is extremely important to give the detailed analytical information for the investors. We know the damages of Ukraine. Unfortunately, these numbers are getting higher and higher every day. However, at the same time, we need to explain to the investors what will be needed for Ukraine for its reconstruction, what will be the conditions, how they can participate in the tenders, or in procurement, what are the localization laws, etc. And the key in here is the localized approach. Particularly, I'm generally representing the analytics. However, I think that I cannot represent the analytical information better than the manufacturers. Therefore, at this particular company, I will change a little bit the format, and I will just talk about our services and what we can do in Dia business application, so that you can implement your projects here in Ukraine, in Rivne region, in Rivne, and so that it will be scaled to the whole territory of Ukraine. It is really important to see the proactive approach of the regional authorities. Here we are in Rivne region, and you are the leader in furniture industry. And in other industries. It is really nice for me to see when the manager of Kharkiv, from Kharkiv Investment Agency, together with her team, came here today and joined us. in order to make this, really good competition between the regions. I wouldn't say it's in fighting, but in the cooperation for attracting investors to each and every region of Ukraine. It is extremely important today. So I'm inviting all of the agencies, I'm inviting all of the investors. We are moving forward together to reconstruct Ukraine and to develop Ukraine. You can see that the presentation is in English. I will be speaking in Ukrainian. However, the interpreter will provide the English, my speech in English, because we have got the international participants who are looking at us during the in the online format. So UkraineInvest, we are working. We have been established in 2018. For several years, we have been working as the non-governmental organization for 2 years, just supported according to the grant funds. However, starting from 2020, starting from this moment, we unlocked investments for more than 1.7 billion US dollars. Those are the investments that have already entered our markets and will be entering in the next in the future periods. How do we attract investment? So we are communicating with the investors through such platforms as today. Also, we talk with the investments from Ukraine. We are explaining what projects are there. We explain to them what are the opportunities for greenfield and brownfield. You know that the difference between those two, like for brownfields, we have got the joint companies, and those are sometimes they are already functioning or they are prepared to start functioning. We are also providing the analytical support, we're providing the legal support, we are providing the consulting in terms of financing. Throughout the last 3 years, we provided more than 6,000 consultations and advices like this for different investors and companies. We're working with both Ukrainian and foreign entities. If the company can see that they are facing some constraints in their activity, I would say that from Rivne region, we quite rarely see any requests like that, so it's really pleasant for me to know that. However, if just generally in the territory of Ukraine, if the investor is facing the bureaucratic constraint of some sort, we're helping them, we're unblocking their activity. It is also something that we have helped to unlock more than 80 million US dollars according to that. Of course, we're working quite effectively. However, we want to enter the point when UkraineInvest and local agencies will not have to do it in general. It's the moment when we will have the general rules in all regions of Ukraine. We also promote in Ukraine, it means the different activities like today. We also provide the literature of some sort, and we also talked to more than 40 million people across the world through CNN, Al Jazeera, France 24, BBC News, and also Ukrainian TV channels, such editions as Washington Post, New York Times, and other sources of informational sources. Those that are valued by business, those that are respected by business. It is really important for them that we work with such information channels. And of course, when we're talking to them, we're talking about you, we're talking about business, we're talking about authorities, and therefore our work, our joint work is providing the outcome, the result. It is not our work only, it is our common result, our common output. As of today, we have got 16 investment projects with worth 2.3 billion US dollars. They are in different sectors of economics, starting from agricultural processing and up to construction materials. Sometimes it also goes to some high technology projects. We have assisted resolution of 80 plus problematic issues of investors. And they unlocked 150 to more than 152 million US dollars of investment. We also providing the assistance, so-called investment nannies, and generally it is just providing the state support for each and every step. I will talk about it a little bit later. We also provided more than 1,000 consultations. According to the London-based Emerging Europe platform, for more than 3 years, we have ranked third or fourth in the top, like among the countries in Central and Eastern Europe. Even despite the fact that we have got this result, our fourth position in 2023 was different only by 2 points. So if we had an opportunity to develop our communication platforms during the full-scale war, if we wouldn't have to work online, remotely, I'm sure that we would definitely get a minimum this. We would definitely rank second. Here is what Emerging Europe said about Ukraine. That Ukraine's position in the ranking is it's a remarkable event. That during the full-scale war they could get the fourth place. And now we're going to the different stimuli. What can you get from what you can get from the state? In 2021, UkraineInvest has been recognized by the Cabinet of Ministers of Ukraine as the company that is helping the international companies for more than 20 million euro. It can be different eligible industries. There's processing industry, extraction of the purpose of further processing, etc. Waste management, transportation, warehousing, logistics, education, tourism. You can see that it's almost the full economy, apart from cigarettes, alcohol, and oil-related industries. So if investors are investing 20 million euros and creating a certain amount of jobs, they can receive up to 30% of the state support. They can use this money for buying new equipment, not to pay VAT, or make some communication transport networks, utilities. As of right now, we have also working on the new applications for 1.3 billion. We are also planning to I beg your pardon, mainly. We are also working on getting it to the future for 200, 300. We have got the support of the Ministry of Economics. We have received the support of the Premier Minister of Ukraine. And in October 2022, we have given the draft law. In the first edition, they have passed. Now they're going through the second edition. What will change? The limit is getting higher, so more companies will get an opportunity to get the motivation like that, the incentives. The second is within 4 months, there will be the investment agreement, and only afterwards the investor can invest. So if the investor, it was the previous situation, so like when the investor was investing something within those 4 months, then it's not included into the CAPX. However, right now, investor can spend 30% of the investment object before the application. So we are unblocking the system. Right now it's going to work more effectively for investment companies. We also lowering the amount of jobs. We're also asking to even lower this figure for the high technologists. It's a great opportunity for SMEs, because they can have, for instance, several projects in one. And, 20 million euros, it can be like 3 projects for 4 million, or like four projects for 3 million. Those are implemented by the same investment company. Also, the industrial parks, the system, it's 10-year income tax exemption. Those. this system. And here you can see the application procedure. We will leave the presentation for you. What are the steps in order to apply for the investment nannies? So those 2 months for the Ministry of Economics and the Cabinet of Ministers. So then you get the approval. They are giving it to the Cabinet of Ministers 30 days to look at the application and take the decision. So from 3 to 4 months, please bear in mind, in order to get the support of that sort. According to the industrial parks, you can see that the Ministry of Economics has got 45 days in order to make the decision, so that you can start the activity of the industrial park of that sort. Right now we have got 64 industrial parks. How many are functioning? Not that many. So in order not to register the investment parks, but to look where to get the investors, look for the money, and then start the activities. I will tell you about our really important project. I can see that I'm getting out of time. I will say it real quick. There was the company Kingspan during the full-scale war. They were one of the first who left the market of Russia, and one of the first who decided to implement the investment project in Ukraine. They've invested more than 300 million euros in Ukraine. They wanted to make high-effective construction materials. The company is quite big, so it's 220 factories in 74 countries of the world. So if we look at the numbers, it's going to be the most, the most advanced campus that they will have in Ukraine. It's in Rivne region. They have selected the land plot. The company works real fast in order to get this project up and running. But this is one of the examples for the creation of the industrial park. When such a company enters the market, it's really easy to attract more companies in here. It can be 5, 7, 10 investors. It just depends on the territory allocation. We also have got the friends from Ireland, so they call their project SIRJ. From Irish, it means freedom from oppression. So for Ukraine, it's really, really an important project because, with each and every attack of Russian Federation on Ukraine, we know that we are even more sure in the implementation of this project because we're getting for this freedom and we are receiving this support, and it's really important for us. And we are absolutely sure that the furniture cluster is providing great opportunities for the region. We're working together. We'll be really interested in listening to the presentation of the business. And conference is not the ending of the work. It is just the first step. After we finish this activity today, we connect our teams and they start attracting investment to the region. Thank you very much for coming. Thank you for supporting. Thank you for common work. Glory to Ukraine. Thank you very much, Sergey. Thank you very much, the UkraineInvest company. Then we would like to present you the potential of Rivne region. Mr. Vitaly Koval has said a lot in his presentation, but I would like to draw your attention to the honey drops of our region. Please give me the presentation. Next slide, please. Rivne region is a sustainable region. It's the added value region. It is located in the northern western part of Ukraine, where a so-called logistical corridor for the goods and services that are exported to the EU. And this is our positioning that we're about 100 kilometers to the border with the EU, and we're export-oriented region with the added value. You can see that the logistics and the main highways and the infrastructure of the region, including the Rivne International Airport, and those highway arteries that are located and joining Ukraine with Europe are here. We have got also really nice natural resources. You can see that we have got 922,000 hectares. Those are the agricultural lands. If you compare our region to the national average, we have got 2.5 higher water availability. The territory of the region is covered with forest for 40%, and it means that the timber reserves are 112 million cubic meters, and this is a really, really good basis for the furniture industry. And also we have got electricity. As you know, there is Rivne nuclear power plant located nearby, and right now it is manufacturing most energy in Ukraine. When we have started together with our team, together with Vitaly Koval, to start to create the history of Rivne region in this really difficult times, starting with the COVID-19 pandemics, all of the work of our team was based on the strategic approach. And with the help of the experts from the European Union, we have worked together on creating the vision of our development till 2027. We have got the smart specializations, something that we base on while creating the sustainable development of the region. First of all, it's woodworking and furniture manufacturing. It is the IT sector and creative industries. It is the food production and its logistics, and also it's high-tech organic farming and organic berry gathering. This is something that we would call the driver of our economic development. And right now we will move forward to the numbers themselves, and you will see how important it is to put the focus on the smart specializations. We would like to thank our international partners for their cooperation, for their trust in our region. And I would like to say about their incredible input, starting from 2019 till today. Rivne region is in just woodworking and furniture industry. Our foreign investors have invested 400 million euros in just this industry. This is the basis of our furniture cluster. I would like to thank to such companies as Kronospan, as Odek, as Swispan, as Hjord Knudsen, as Morgan Furniture, as Skado M. Those are the reliable partners that are helping us to develop the sustainable economy of our region. I also would like to tell you a little bit more about the economic structure of the furniture industry. It is 2,000 jobs. It is 40% for export, the products that go for export. Also, the woodworking companies and the furniture companies located in Rivne region, they are one of the highest taxpayers. The main figures of the furniture cluster would be 15%. The specific weight in the structure of industrial production, 33% would be the part of the export that goes to the EU and to the world. 72%, it is the percentage in the total furniture manufacturing of all furniture manufacturing. Ukraine is located here. 62% of the plywood, of all the plywood manufactured in Ukraine is in Rivne region, and 43% would be in the total wood chipboard manufacturing. You can see that the indices that we have got in Rivne region are definitely the leaders, and this is a huge huge basis for creating for the development of furniture industry. We're talking about the ecosystem. It is not only business, it is not only authorities. We're also working really actively with the education and training sector. In this regard, I would say that Rivne region is also the capital of vocational training. And we would like to thank the Department for Education and Science for those numbers, because we can see that the majority of the graduates of the vocational training facilities are staying in the region and working in the local facilities. We have got 31 center for vocational training here in Rivne region. And you can see that those are the graduates that are working in the local economy. 920 graduates, they graduate every year, and they are providing the human resources for our companies, for our region. Also, together with the partners, we are, and maybe with our donors, we're planning to work on developing those educational centers in the vocational facilities. You can see the examples and the major products that our vocational training facilities are working with as of today. We have got a need for additional investment, and together with our team, we're also working quite actively on developing this ecosystem and make the request for our companies in terms of the training of the practitioners, professionals. And that's the most positive slide, because we definitely believe we're working towards victory. We believe in our country. I would like to thank once again to all our partners. I would like to thank to the companies, to the businesses who trust, to local authorities and who are cooperating in one team, the victory team. And they are helping the sustainable development of our region. Thank you. I would like to give the floor to the next speaker, Volodymyr Partis, the president of the Ukrainian Furniture Association. I would say that it's a main think tank partner, and also the co-founder of the Rivne Furniture Cluster. I would like you to tell us a little bit more about the opportunities and what the association is doing for Ukraine. Volodymyr is going to share with us. Thank you, Sergey. It's really a pleasure for me to see you all. Oh, here is my presentation. I even feel a little bit nervous. That's my first speech here in this patio. I can't believe I'm in Rivne today, and we can get an opportunity to meet in such locations here in Rivne. Everything is changing so rapidly, despite the fact that we're facing the full-scale war today. I will say you just a few words about the work. If we take about our work that we do, our business community is one of the oldest among the professional associations. We are not about business. We are working generally. About 5 years ago, we have developed a strategy, the development strategy for our association and for the industry in general. We could see how there will be four stages. It doesn't mean that every company would have to go through those 4 stages. No, for each company, we would, just depending on its segment and its development of the company itself, one of the stages could fit, or several stages. One of the biggest issues that exists in Ukraine is that the manufacturing is not science. Right now, only right now, the business is starting to learn, and I would say successfully learn, and get good results in facing the situation when manufacturing is science. We have to invest in that. We have to train. we have to share experience and get the experience, learn the experience of our colleagues. So first would be the training. The second is according to our experience and according to the communication with our partners. You know, we have to learn creating furniture bestsellers. What does it mean? You know, for a really long period of time, our industry, its main development or like major idea was to take some Italian model, you know, take it, divide it into parts and copy something and do something similar but cheaper. It could be the same or a little bit worse. But as of today, it is changing. Finally, we have got the collaboration with our Ukrainian designers, with our Ukraine, and you know, our Ukrainian designers, they're creating real-world bestsellers. And we can get the support for that. We can get the confirmation for that because the commercial success for many collections, for many Ukrainian designers, for many particular units. When we're talking about furniture industry, many people can see it only as big companies that are creating the products for mass market. You know, yes, those companies are really important. They are the drivers of the economy. But at the same time, we also have got other companies, the companies that are creating unique furniture with the huge added value. With the huge value added, those companies, they are working, they are creating the same price as IT companies that are creating their products. You know, because in these companies, only 1/10 would be these raw materials, all the rest would be promotion. And there are many examples of that. So the third stage would be to learn to sell in the national scale. What are we talking about in here? We're talking about learning what is business more than manufacturing. So, well, of course, you have manufactured something, you've produced something. Ukrainians are really wise. They used to say even a long time ago that she could cook real well, but she couldn't serve real well. It is not just a saying, you know, sometimes people can create something really good, but they cannot sell it. They cannot provide a strategy for selling. They don't know how it is done. So therefore, this was the third stage for us, how to sell in the national scale. What is branding? What is company? How we can attract the partners. And the fourth stage that we continually push, which is one of the most important stages, and we're working with this for several years, is to learn to sell globally or export. Export, and once again, export. Our task is not only to sell for export by big companies. It is, of course, super important. However, we can state that big companies, in their vast majority, they can deal with everything. You know, we can just enhance their activity, show them new markets, new opportunities. However, if we look in Ukraine, and I would like everyone to understand it and hear it, in Ukraine, the basic rule, it is impossible to have the furniture business in Ukraine if you're not exporting. You cannot have big business. If you are selling furniture but you are not exporting, you cannot get the relevant growth because Ukrainian market has got seasonal changes, has got force majeures, including the last one. So all of the big manufacturers are export-oriented, and the figures do confirm that. Well, I have said everything that was listed on this slide. Let's move to the next one. Here we can see really short our strategy. It's the growth of every company. Through this growth, we can see the growth of the industry and the growth of our association. Our association during the last 3 or 4 years has increased by more than 4 times. Therefore, we can confirm that by our figures, And as we are also running out of time, so I can see what time I've got, so we're moving quite fast. You know, the confirmation that export is super important. You can see the data on the slide for 2022. The furniture is among top 10 of the main products for export. They are ranking 7th. And I would also know that this is a product with high value added. You can see, you know, even the agriculture product in here, but it's really gigantic. It's a huge, huge number that we've got. We have moved forward. We have crossed the line of 1 billion for export, and this is huge. So let's move to the next slide, and then to make it in time. Within our strategy, when we have been looking at the experience of the most successful furniture industries around the world, they were all united by one thing. It's export-oriented professional exhibition that we didn't have. So it is not the exhibition for the buyer. It is the exhibition for the professionals, the exhibition that will work according to the world standards, like all other world exhibitions. So when we will not take just the ideas from abroad, when it's not going to be 1,000 participants that are just going around the exhibition territory and looking for something to drink, to eat, etc. So in 2021, thanks to our partners, it's the program for competitive economy by USAID, and with the support of Rivne Regional State Administration. It was state at that time, not military administration. So we have managed to get the furniture of Ukraine, the furniture exhibition. It was super successful. It was during the COVID pandemic. It was, and despite this fact, it was super successful. We have got contract signed for about $10 million. During the exhibition itself, people have signed the contracts for about $5 million, and then after the exhibition, they also went to the production facilities, and they also signed the contracts for about $6 million. So it was a really first successful case and successful pilot that we've managed to get. You could see the picture from the last day of the exhibition. Well, let's stop at this slide. I would like to note why, thanks to what we have got those large-scale projects. Because, you know, this exhibition, what we can say when the full-scale war have started, starting from the full-scale war, we have conducted 10 trade missions and trade exhibitions. So those are the national stands and just presentations. How did we manage to do that? Thanks to the synergy. This synergy when we're uniting business and business interests and the state interests. Here you can see those organizations, those companies that are supporting the Ukrainian Furniture Association. And thanks to their support, thanks to their financial assistance and to moral support, administrative support, starting from the full-scale war, we have managed to make 10 trade missions. And this led to the fact that many companies have received contracts, received new markets. And this led to these super unique cases when not only the big companies, but also the small companies here from Rivne, from our regions, from our district centers, they have received very significant contracts. And this allowed us to create the product with a really big value added. And there are examples, you know, here in Rivne, they're making really expensive furniture that is mostly exported to New York, to Manhattan, and to Florida state. This wouldn't happen if there wouldn't be this proactive approach of our team. And why? the companies or the organizations that are here, in the majority of cases, they are not the furniture manufacturers, they are suppliers. Why are they investing in such trade missions? Because they've understood, first of all, this transparency of our intentions. And the second thing is, as they are suppliers, Adler, Vine, you can see many examples of those. They are really famous around the world. And thanks to this synergy, we really managed to finish those ambitious projects, and they are continuing to bring a big amount of contracts, of orders for the Ukrainian companies. They started writing about us in mass media. I will just say it real short, that when we have had the association, our team, I mean, if we say then the such industry, as furniture industry, it wasn't in the state export strategy. And many people were telling me, what is the difference? We still work. But the difference is that when we have created the trade missions, we couldn't get the support, we couldn't get the funding, because it wasn't included into the export strategy, and the furniture industry wasn't there. There was the woodworking industry that included the furniture. However, the facts that we've got lots of articles about us in Forbes and in other really important mass media is also confirming that what we have done. So I have said what is depicted in here. The main directions is business academy, it's training our partners, and here smart people here in Rivne, the smart people school that was scaled, the school of management of furniture business that was supported by European Bank of Reconstruction and Development, that really helped to create fantastic enterprises here in Ukraine. It was unbelievable what have happened in just 1 year. It's the School of Clusters, and something that we are working together with Sergey. We have started talking about it about 6 years ago and started doing something in this direction. It's also the support of the vocational training. And I think that right now we're just making this linkage together with the authorities in business. Constantly the dialogue with authorities and the exhibition submissions, I have already covered that, and also the attraction of investment. When the financial analysts generally say when the investors have parked their investment here, I'm often talking to my Polish colleagues that are just waiting for some sign or the end of war, because Rivne region is very attractive. It's just such a great location for making furniture. Here you can see a few pictures, illustrations of the ongoing projects. When we give an opportunity for people to get to know each other, what was the change that happened in the furniture industry? We have changed the approach. We have changed the approach of this, former Soviet approach of closed system. No, you have to be open. You have to communicate with your colleagues. It has transformed from the competition into seeing an opportunity to earn more in each other. And this led to the many agreements that would have never happened if there wouldn't be informal communication. It's our lunches, or like a lean tours when we are going to the enterprises and we're teaching them Kaizen, the effectiveness approaches. Oh, I have to finish. Oh, sorry. Just the last slide is about the assistance. The last project that we had was the military hospital, the hospital for the veterans in Kleven in Rivne region. When we came to talk to the director of the hospital, to the chief physician, He was saying that we have got so many wounded soldiers and their wives, their families, and it is really inconvenient for them to stay there overnight. So then we started saying to our association, we started talking to the participants and like, can we find a solution? In Cherkasy, we have got the company that is making specific hospitals for the visitors for Israel hospitals. You can transform it from sofa to the bed. And from now on, we started making those, chair that is transforming into the bed. Thank you for all the association members. And this is about the joint work. We've got millions of cases, and we can talk about it for ages. Thank you very much. Thank you all. Please join us. Don't forget about buying only Ukrainian furniture. Thank you. Thank you for the support. I would like to say that I've got only Ukrainian furniture. I don't want to have any troubles with our partners. Thanks you once again, Volodymyr Partis, the Ukrainian Association of Furnitures. Friends, please, I'm sorry, I truly beg your pardon for stopping you, but we have got people who are waiting, the speakers that will be joining us online, so we need to follow the agenda. And I would like to ask the CEO of Kernospan UA. This is the biggest investment throughout the whole history of Rivne region. It's one of the biggest enterprises that appear to be the basis for developing our furniture cluster here in Rivne region. And I would like to say that maybe for the whole Ukraine. So Natalia, the floor is yours. I'm giving you the floor. Thank you. Good afternoon. Do you hear me? Yes, we can hear you well. Thank you. Oh, that's great. Good afternoon, dear colleagues. Thank you for the invitation. Thank you for the opportunity to share our project with us, its history, its development, and of course, our aim, our objective is to share our experience and also to attract the attention of the investors to Ukraine by getting acquainted with one of the most attractive industries of Ukraine. It is furniture industry, but we also need to know that this industry is uniting 3 or even 4 key industries, such as forest industry, the woodworking, the furniture, the manufacturing itself, and even a part of construction industry is also joined in here. At the next slide of our presentation, can you please turn the next slide? We would like to start from the moment. We are the company that has got more than 100 years of experience, and throughout this whole period, we became one of the biggest manufacturers of MDF particle board in the world. We are in Ukraine for more than 19 years, and we were able to get the huge amount of investment, about 90 million euros of investment in the Ukrainian timber processing industry for our own finance and also with the help of our colleagues, so including the European Bank for Reconstruction and Development. Throughout the period that we are staying in Ukraine, we have got more than 737 jobs created locally. But, you should multiply it by 10 because all of the structure that is working for the manufacturing, for our particle board, and also the clients and the suppliers that are working with the raw materials or with the products themselves. And also getting the human resources to the market of Ukraine and also their well-being. So just to sum up, it's about 1 billion euros of investment into the economy of Ukraine, and I would say more than 7,000 of jobs. Regarding our partners, and I hope that they are also joining the online. Of course, it's Valling region, Rivne region, where we have got this event today, and also the logistical hub near Kiev. It's Kalinivka. Next slide, please. Now, I would like to tell us a little bit more about the location, about the history, and about the future. Really short. Our history started in 2009 when we have just came to Ukraine and decided, we just joined all of the ideas, got our intentions together and decided to invest in Ukraine. In 2009 we have launched the particle board manufacturing facilities. And in 2019, we have also launched the second manufacturing facilities. Here on this slide, you can see the site that we've got. I would say it's a state-of-the-art factory with the warehouses, with the manufacturing facilities. It's located approximately on the 50 hectares of we also have got the 10 hectares that we decided to allocate for the cluster development. It's also going to be the manufacturing facilities and the warehouses and for representative offices for the furniture industry. If we look at Rivne region, our factory has started its work in 2019. Or I would say in 2019 we have started with the investment, and in 2021 we have managed to launch the first manufacturing line and also to start the particle board manufacturing that is used in the furniture industry. In between 2019 and 2021, those 2 years, for working with the 100 hectares of land plots, I would say that it's, like extremely fast project that we have managed to do and to finish, of course, in the cooperation with our local state authorities. And with their help, we also were able to invest or get 500 million euros. Here on the slide, you can see the particular figures, the numbers that we have invested during the full-scale war. I would like to underline for our investors, for our partners, we do not have any doubts. We are investing in Ukraine, and more than 120 million were invested during the full-scale war only in this particular manufacturing facility in Rivne region. We have created the first private industrial park in 2021 also that will provide the space for the furniture manufacturers or for the fiberboard or other board that can be used in other industries of Ukraine. We have got approximately 15 hectares in here. And we will be happy to welcome either local companies or relocated companies or the companies with foreign investment here at this land plot. And also, this is something that I would like to emphasize, that during the full-scale war and with, let's say, with all of those drastically changed logistical routes that appear to be here during the full-scale war. Even despite the full-scale war, we have continued to work. We also investing more than 20 million euros into the logistical hub that is located near Kyiv, and it will help us to handle roads and rail cargo. In this particular land plots, we have finished the first stage of investment that is related to our activity, but we also have got the reserve facilities, the capacities that we can provide for our partners. We are looking at cluster development. For us, we have decided that our mission is the development of furniture industry as one of the key industries in the economy of Ukraine. Apart from that, we're generally also talking about the those products that are related and that are used in the furniture industry. Then you have got the synergy of cluster development that we are launching right now. Maybe it will even stabilize right now on the territory of the Rivne region. Therefore, or that's the experience that we had. For instance, we have had it on the territory of Poland. And I would like to know that the furniture industry in Poland, if you compare it to Ukraine, in Ukraine it's 1 billion from the export from Ukraine and 14 billion is export from Poland. This is just something for you to understand regarding the perspectives of furniture industry development, because Ukraine has got all of the natural resources that are used for the furniture production. All of them are present here in Ukraine. If we look at advantages of the cluster development, if we just look through the prism of furniture business and its further promotion on the territory of Rivne region, of course, we can propose, we can suggest this 24/7 access to the full product portfolio, but it's not the only thing that we can share. Those investors that would like to come to Ukraine, you could see that our development was quite rapid. And of course, we can share our experience with those companies that would like to invest in Ukraine. And also, we would like to underline that we will suggest separate industrial park on the territory of our factories that can provide the manufacturing space for the investors. Investors will just have to bring the equipment. Of course, it will have a positive working capital, and also it is really positive for the price development when we're working together with the partners. If we talk about logistics, it is extremely important right now. We all know how hard it is to work with abroad, with foreign countries, and also how strategic it will have and what priority it will have in the future. And of course, we can help each other in terms of the logistical processes and its advancement. It's like creating logistical hubs, terminals, customs clearance, going across the border, etc. In the industrial parks, we would like to note that the infrastructure that we are planning to construct, it's going to be accessible for our partners. We also can provide some support. It can also in the construction processes. What our partners need to do, it's of course you have to have a business plan. Of course you will have to sign the contract and then just implement your project in time, because we would like to see our development as soon as possible here in Ukraine. Next slide, please. The cluster development, as Sergei Tsipkach has noted, there are certain incentives that you can get here in Ukraine for the partners, so for those who are in clusters, who have joined the cluster. What can we use? We can use the VAT exception, customs exception. Also, there are certain incentives in terms of the income tax for the next 10 years. We also have got a preferential rates for real estate, for land on the territory of the communities. And of course, it is also the training and of the personnel that will be in the process of manufacturing, that will be involved in the process of manufacturing. The priorities of the cluster development, this is something that provides the stability for the whole industry, because the companies can lobby their own interest together. If we look at it through the prism of the furniture industry or woodworking industry, then right now we're all working together with the state and the land market or wood market of Ukraine, because wood or timber is one of the basic materials for us. So the participation of the state and our participation in this process for writing the law, the legislation in this regard is really important, because it is both forest industry, furniture industry, wood processing industry, and of course the construction industry. For all of them, it is really important. And also, this is something that is really required for all of the investment. It's ecosystem, it's sustainable development, and also it goes through the EFC certification, which is also the priority for us. We are also looking at the EFC certificate and for the development of Ukraine in the future. In terms of the foreign investors that could come to Ukraine, it is really important to get the insurance of investment from military risks. I do believe that this law, the draft law that is registered right now in Ukraine, can really make a huge push, and also the cooperation with the international institutions, particularly with those countries that do have the plans to invest in Ukraine. As of today, I would say that it's going to be the first and the foremost objective that we will have to reach in order to attract investors to Ukraine. For the future, of course, apart from the insurance of the risks, it will also be the infrastructural projects that are developing currently in Ukraine. And also one of the key issues is when we are talking to any particular investor, it is also the creation of the portfolios of the industrial land plots that do have connection to the infrastructure, and particularly in Rivne, we have to work on such portfolio in order to attract investors, those who can develop themselves in the furniture industry of Ukraine. I would like to note that forest industry and woodworking industry are also going to be the key industries who will provide the raw materials for the reconstruction of Ukraine, the reconstruction of each and every destroyed square meter, as we can work on the projects of creating such homes, those that will use the USB board, the energy effective materials, those that can use energy saving and be used in the construction industry. Thank you very much for your attention. I would like to hear as many questions as possible from our foreign investors in order to get them engaged in the reconstruction of Ukraine. Thank you. Thank you very much, Natalia. We do thank you. I would like to remind you once again that we're working in the hybrid format today. We also do have lots of speakers who will join us online, and the same goes for some of the next speakers in our agenda. I would like to invite Natalia Rudkowska, the Executive Director of Morgan Furniture. I would like to say that it's the biggest taxpayer in Rivne territorial community and one of the biggest employers and a really, really reliable partner for Rivne region. Thank you, Sergey. Oh, you gave me such a great representation. Thank you. It is really nice for me to be here. Well, good afternoon to everybody whom I haven't seen. Yes, we are the representative of the Rivne furniture industry. So for us today, it is really nice. It is so pleasant for us to have such an activity event here in Rivne. I am representing all of my colleagues who work not far from here in Kvasiliev. We belong to a big furniture holding, And it is really nice to see that we have got an international holding, but the biggest factory is located here in Rivne region. As I have noted, we're located in Kvasilev. The holding itself has got about 2,000 employees, about 700 plus are located here in Rivne. We produce everything that can be called upholstered furniture. Those are sofas, beds, and 100% of our products go for export. Our clients are mostly located in Europe, and also we have got several clients who are in the United States of America, where we also export our production. 48,000 square meters where we work right now, and we have also looked at the enlarging this area before the full-scale war. I have noted about our geography, I have noted about our clients, and this is the approximate geography that we've got. 24 countries around the world, almost all European Union is covered, also Great Britain, also the United States of America. We have got really successful cases in export and a huge expertise and experience in this field. As of today, we are mass production. If we take the difference from what Volodymyr has had regarding the uniqueness, no, as of today, we have got 1,500 active models. We have lowered our capacities a little bit during the full-scale war, and we are definitely ready to come back to our huge manufacturing facilities. As of today, we are producing 400, 500 products per day. We are sending to 15 countries. We're delivering to 15 countries, particularly from Ukraine. Approximately 50, 60 trucks of export cargoes go per week. So if you just, you can see the pictures of some of the products that we produce, but I would say that we are represented in Europe. We've got our reputation, and I can say that our clients are really satisfied with the products that they receive from us. Starting from full-scale war, we do not write that it's made in Ukraine, but we are sending the little flag of Ukraine and all of the products that come to our clients around the world to have this reminder about the situation in Ukraine. We have got the full cycle of production. We're working with timber, with wood. As Natalia Bukinska said, we are buying them during the tenders, during the auctions. We have got our own carpentry. We also have invested more into our manufacturing facilities. We have invested into foam production. So from now on, we are also creating our own foam. We are cutting it. And we are using it for furniture. We also have got the sewing unit, and we also working with different interesting programs within the region. Where we are working throughout the region with small sewing units, where we are involving locals to work in this. So in a few cycles, we're working to make this fantastic final product that is bringing satisfaction and happiness to our final clients. I would like to repeat myself once again, or maybe I haven't said it. We are working for more than 11 years. With a great stability here in Ukraine. As of today, we have got more than 800 in place and 35 production specializations. This is some information that we are working together with the local authorities, with other facilities, with the vocational training facilities. Those 35 production specializations is something that allows us to be so successful here in this region and successful in our everyday work and the results and the outcomes that we got. So this is one of the cases that we can also advise. And this is also really short review for ecosystem. I could hear previous speakers talking about the ecosystem. So we can see that we're working together. As we're working and creating the upholstered furniture, of course we are cooperating with Kronospan. It's one of the reliable partners that we've got for many years we have spent together. We're working with forestries, and it's all that related to timber, to wood, something that is a competitive advantage of Rivne region. We are really pro-Ukrainian. We are trying to buy as many materials as possible here in Ukraine, including the construction materials, whatsoever materials that are related to furniture production. We're procuring, we're cooperating with small companies that are making wooden elements, construction elements for us. This is also the part of our ecosystem. Well, definitely we have got really successful cases of cooperation together with the relocated enterprises from the East that also started to make some metal component parts for us, those that we also use in our products. We cooperate with vocational training facilities of the region because we need the technical specializations, technical majors. And it is really something that has to be in the region. The economists, the designers, the constructors. I think that we should put a particular focus on those majors in the future. As I've noted, we're working with sewing facilities. We really had a nice regional program when the owners have negotiated with the regional authorities in order to support the females who work in the northern part of the region when they do not have enough jobs. In the majority of cases, they do have lots of kids, and sometimes they cannot go to the manufacturing facilities, to the office. So we have involved them as the employees who could work from home. We have taught them how they can work with the sewing machine and how they can work according to our standards. And then we provided some work for them, so those females were staying at home, they could watch our kids, and at the same time they also had really stable job. So this was a case of a really good project, really successful cooperation, not only business-oriented, but also socially oriented towards the social sector of the region for those females located in the north. Also, the transport, the logistics. We do have our facilities, but it is you also have to attract lots of resources to deliver all of the products. And of course, our resources, our assistance, all of the technical equipment that we've got in our manufacturing facilities, it has to work constantly. So the maintenance and technical units also are included into the ecosystem. This is the ecosystem in general that provided this synergy for the region, for ourselves, and for the industry in general. Okay. So in general, I would like to note what have changed. Because a few years ago, we didn't talk about, we have talked about what is needed, but I would like to say that during the past 3 years, everything has changed drastically. Rivne region, Rivne, I can see what is going on, and I can see that it's a really good path, a really good journey towards the change of Rivne region. We can see that the well-being is getting better. If we compare to the something that people lacked like 3 years ago, 4 years ago, in order for people to feel comfortably in the region, I can see that the region has been working quite well, quite a lot with that. And during the last period of time, despite the full-scale war, despite the COVID-19 pandemic, we could see the exact changes that are going on. The infrastructure is developing, clusters, partnership. You know, it got so much easier to find the support, to gather connections. This is also really good initiatives that are going and are helping both for the region and companies to be successful. And of course, very different programs that relate to the development, to the technical skills, to the professionals in their own fields. Everything is developing, and each sector is helping the other sectors to move forward. Just a little bit of history and of our plans. The 2021 was really successful for us. We have given about 100 trucks for delivery. In 2023, we're not getting up to 100, but if if we can look at the situation that we've had at the beginning of the full-scale war of Ukraine, the owners, the foreign owners, wanted to get the citizenship of Ukraine in the full-scale war, and they believe in Ukraine. They believe that we're going to be successful. They believe that we will increase our manufacturing facilities, and I can see that we are investing. We're looking at our projects, and I think that in 2025, we will have the numbers of 221 multiplied by 3. From the point of view of the employees, if in 2021 we had 1,100 employees, well, if we take the year we got today, it is not that we have reduced the number, we have adapted to the realities. You know that we have got the place in the bomb shelter, so we have got all of the standards for safety and security. We really value our employees. And also in 2025, I believe that we will increase the number of employees by 3 as well, because we need the specialists, we need practitioners, and we are ready to take the people, to train the people, and now we'll have the ready resource so that when we come to the increase of our manufacturing facilities, then we will have the specialists that we need. So we are looking in the future. We're taking care of each and every part of our family, which includes more than 800 employees, because our home is Rivne region. We are ready to be socially responsible business, even more than we are right now. We are ready to be more socially responsible, and we're ready to move Ukrainian forward, to move Ukraine forward. Probably it's all from my side. We are ready to stay here. We are ready to stay socially positive. I believe that Rivne region is going around the right way, with new enterprises, with new jobs, so with focus on the people who live here. Thank you. Thank you, Natalia. Natalia Rytkovska, the Executive Director of Morgan Furniture. I would like to thank for the technical assistance to our partners, for the online, for sound, for lighting, for good quality. And I also would like to thank our interpreter, Titania Simchuk, for the fantastic interpretation, and also with the opportunity to address our foreign partners. We can see that we have got about several hundreds of viewers, those who have viewed or are viewing our event today. And I would like to remind you once again that during the last 3 years, only in the woodworking and furniture industry, we have received more than 400 million euros from Netherlands, from France, from Switzerland, from Austria. Those are our partners that we are working together with, that we are working with here in our region. We are ready to invite new partners. We are open for the communication. And I would like to give the floor to Mr. Paolo Fantoni, the Vice President of the Woodworking and Furniture Industry of Italy. Buongiorno, Signora Paolo, and saluti. Welcome to Rivne region.
Buongiorno. My compliment to all the organizers for inviting me, and compliment for the presentation I heard to the moment. I have the honor to introduce you the data of the Federation of the Furniture Industry we represent. So I ask the support of the technicians to start showing you the slides. So please go next. I know we have some weak connection, so it may happen that we are interrupted by, I will immediately react, so we may have just few seconds of disconnection. So this is the overall picture of the Italian wood and furniture industry. As you see, we just go on the basic figures, which show how turnover in Italy in 2022 has reached the high figure of 56 billions of turnover. Uh, Italy is the second largest furniture producers in Europe after Germany, but at the same time it's the first European exporter of furniture with 21 more or less billion euros of export. As you may see from the overall picture, the industry covers 297,000 employees, slightly recovering last year, but we basically can say it's a stable number. While, as you can see as well, the number of companies is slightly reducing, which means it's concentrating little by little. But you easily can immediately understand how the size of the medium company in Italy is very slow, is very small. We just have an average of 5 employees per company. We come back to this afterwards. So Italian furniture industry represent 4.6% of the Italian manufacturing turnover. Next slide, please. So you, at the same time, you see these numbers are done by what represent 14.9% of the total Italian companies, and we cover 8% of the total Italian employees. Next, please. The last years have been a successful year for the furniture and wood industry in Italy since COVID, of course, has changed a lot the uh, interest of the buyers, and they have enlarged the expenditure for furniture. So that last year turnover has grown 12% compared to previous year. Export has grown 13%, but import more heavily has grown for 30% to the previous year. Next, please. Here you have more detailed numbers of the wood industry, since the data I shown you before are representing the total between furniture and wood industry. And you see it's more or less half of the total value. But what I want to show you here is more uh, relevant, related to the growth of import of wood products, and finally our trade balance, which has become negative in the wood products section. Next, please. Wood industry has also grown in terms of employees 1%, but decreased in 3.4% last year. Next, please. Okay, we can even go ahead. Next. Our federation is representing 12 different branches. So the most important one certainly is furniture industry, but then we have bathroom furniture, lighting, office furniture, packaging association, wood product association, panel association, solar shading association, wood flooring, uh, wood merchants and importers, and coffins association. So it's a very fragmented hello, can you hear me? Yes. So where Italy has been importing its wood products, you may see from this picture. So the first supplier, of course, is Austria for vicinity, but then Germany, China, Poland, and you see finally Ukrainian is the 15 in the row. The turnover and the import has been growing 38.9% as an average in the last ratio between 2022 and 2021. Next. You see the different countries again, how they have been rising their export and what is the weight of any specific country. Ahead, still go ahead. Next page, please. Here you see what Italy has been importing, which from Ukraine, which show has Italy has been importing 56 million euros of sawn coniferous timber, then pallets, veneers, plywood. Let's go ahead. Next page, please. Hello.
Yes, we can hear you.
Can you move to next page? Okay. At the same time, here you see what Italy has been exporting to Ukraine, which is just 55 millions in 2022, which is half of what it was the year before. Next page, please. Of course, Italy is devoting a lot of attention now to sustainability. We have decided as federation to give great access and accent to sustainability, joining the United Nations Global Compact, which means sustaining a number of initiatives to make our companies the most sustainable. Next, please. We have practical tools to access the circularity of the technology and of the production processes, as well definition of sustainable materials and certification of all the traceability of the product within our productions. Next, please. We have in Italy a very strong presence of the technology of recycled wood. As a matter of fact, in Italy, by law, the municipalities are obliged to collect the waste wood, and specifically in the case of waste packaging, where the production in Italy is of 3.4 million tons, we have the amount of 900,000 tons of pallets which are reclaimed and released for a new consumption, but we have 1.7 million tons of wood which are reused to produce chipboard and MDF finally. So next. This can finally bring us to these sentences that 95% of recycled wood is used in the production of chipboard in Italy, and now also MDF is starting using this new technology. Next, please. Our federation is owning Salone del Mobile di Milano, which is the most important international fair of furniture. Next, please, with 2,000 exhibitors but at the same times with 308,000 visitors from all over the world. So this makes Italy and the Italian furniture industry as a very important platform to export around the world. And to end up my presentation, I would like to invite as much as possible your organization to attend this fair, Salone del Mobile di Milano, and the other important fair in Italy is SICAM in Pordenone, so that in these two locations you have the possibility to approach the Italian producers of furniture. And I would recommend to prepare a presentation of your assets, of your opportunity in Ukraine, taking into consideration that, as I said earlier, the average of the Italian companies is a very small size average. So this should suggest all of us and you to approach them initially to start cooperating with them on commercial basis to further let them enter the reality of Ukraine with potential new investments. So my strong recommendation is make a nice product to introduce the opportunity Ukraine is offering to Italian furniture makers. And I end up my speech now at end with the suggestion to consider how, for example, birch plywood, which are in shortage in Italy, may represent a strong opportunity to start the operation with our furniture industry in Italy. Thank you and all the best and compliment for the organization of the day.
Thank you cordially, Paolo Fantoni, the president of the Italian Association of the Woodworking and Furniture Industry, and we truly hope that for the fruitful cooperation in the future, we are definitely absolutely open for the communication and for helping you to start your business here in the Rivne region, Ukraine. And right now, I would like to give the floor to Marcin Nowacki, Vice President of ZPP, Polish Union of Entrepreneurs and Employers. Witamy serdecznie, Polska. Marcin, jesteś z nami? Nie słyszymy cię. Jeszcze raz? Nie, jeszcze raz coś tam nie pracuje. Nie, tak również nie. Nie. Please try to find the microphone or something, or change the settings maybe for the connection. There may be the connection of the microphone with different devices. Try that. You know, we always have got the technical challenges when we're working live, when we're working with online format. So we truly beg your pardon. We need to take the small technical pause until we find the resolution. Please continue talking, Marcin. Coś tam mów, dlatego żeby... Nie, okej. No jeszcze nie. Yeah, just try talking from time to time so that we can tell you if it finally starts working. I'm saying yes, please continue talking from time to time. So far, we still do not hear you, unfortunately. We can hear some sound. Once again, we truly beg your pardon for the technical pause that we are taking right now.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you, Marcin. The floor is yours. Pozdrawiamy i
Thank you
witamy
very much.
serdecznie.
Dziękuję. Dziękuję. Dzień dobry. Thank you. Good morning. I had to reconnect. First and foremost, let me thank UkraineInvest and the Rivne Regional Administration, also to USAID for inviting the PP to become a partner of the event. I represent the PP, one of the largest business organizations in Poland, and I'd like to share a couple of words about industrial cooperation, also having in mind Poland and Polish-Ukrainian cooperation. Poland is one of the main manufacturing centers within the EU right now. Currently, Poland's exports account for about 50% of GDP. The industrial structure is diversified, which means we do not have limitations, or we're not dependent on one or even a few sectors. We have a significant exposure to sectors such as machinery, automotive, electronics, chemicals, plastics, food, construction, also building materials, but of course also furniture sector. And of course, we participate in global chain supply. The presence of Polish businesses in global chains steadily is steadily increasing. But currently, due to the nearshoring process which is happening globally, I think this is a great time for Poland, for Ukraine, for the whole Central and Eastern Europe to take on a new dimension. And we are definitely interested, as we represent a Polish business, we are interested in Ukraine becoming a strong industrial center. Uh, in the furniture industry, there are three elements that are critical. Firstly, it is an access to wood for processing and a well-managed forestry sector. This, this is something what Ukraine has and is very successful in that field. The second critical resource is access to skilled workers. In both cases, again, Ukraine is has potential to become a leading manufacturing center for this industry. There is also the third element, which is now difficult across the EU, across Europe, is the competitive access to energy supplies. And here, let me stop for a minute. When considering Ukraine's efforts to join the EU, it is essential to remember the areas you can define where Ukraine keeps competitive advantage. And I think energy sector is one of those where you can be extremely competitive towards different industrial needs. It is no secret that Europe is becoming a more and more challenging area for industrial activities. And of course, considering restrictions on access to cheap electricity in Europe and also our climate regulations, we need to use the time that potentially the transition period for Ukraine to gain a new competitive advantage for the region. Of course, I understand that Ukraine, in the process of reconstruction, wants to undergo a rapid transformation of the energy sector towards green technologies and solutions, but still, I would do both. I would use the time of large investments and the interest in Ukraine to go with the rapid transformation, but also at the same time, I would go and negotiate the longest possible transition period for green, for green and climate regulations coming from the EU. that can give Ukraine an additional incentive for investors to come and invest in terms of the industry. And furniture sector is one of the sectors where energy supplies, which are stable and competitive in price, is an important factor. Uh, I believe that potentially that can be an important argument for Polish and international companies to diversify their production base and seek ways to increase business profitability. Of course, Ukraine as a country is also a large market base, so that's a great potential as well. We experience the same in Poland. You can still see investments coming, although the prices coming into Germany because of the market size they have. So the market size will stay an important factor to develop direct investments in every possible sector. But again, the supplies of energy are becoming really critical for a number of industries. We have experienced last year, this year also, some sectors where they limit their production because of the price of energy. And as we undergo the transition in the energy sector, it will take a while to have a stable situation, to have a competitive market from the, of course, global perspective, because we, in terms of the industry, we compete with number of markets as the region. Also, let me speak about another limitations we have between the EU, Poland, Ukraine in terms of the integration into global supply chains. This is the transport infrastructure. So, I mean the land border. Investors are, of course, anticipating future risk in the maritime transport for the Black Sea, and it seems necessary for Poland and Ukraine to combine their efforts to expand the transport infrastructure, including roads and railways. In case of railways, where we can discuss large volumes for the transport of goods, there is an additional limitation due to the different track gauges between the EU, Poland, and Ukraine. Therefore, the expansion of the transshipment terminals and warehouses dedicated to specific products is necessary. This is something we'll be discussing later today, actually in the afternoon in Warsaw, with the agri-food sector, where we see limitations in terms of the transit because of the infrastructure we have. And of course, on the one hand, we anticipate that the Black Sea corridors and the Black Sea as a way to transport goods will be soon open. But on the other hand, we don't know the deadline. We don't know the time that we can kind of estimate and make sure that it is open, it is stable. So here and now, we need to decide between the EU, Poland, Ukraine, and business players whether we invest into land infrastructure, into terminals, warehouses, terminals to change platforms, and for a proper gauge systems, or we do not. It can be supported via dedicated EU funds. We have EU funds even now available for that kind of investments, projects, also with applications coming from Ukraine. From January next year, we're going to have a dedicated Ukraine facility where there will be a component for infrastructure and also cross-border investments. But if there is no push and no feedback from the industry, from specific sectors, it will not happen. So we need to decide also the furniture sector for the future, how the land border and the the potential transport roads are important, whether it's a road transport, railway, or of course sea corridors. Please keep in mind this is something to decide really here and now. Thank you very much again. Ukraine is a large country with the capacity to become a strong member state of the EU, and we are interested to have a partner like that next door. Thank you.
Thank you, Marcin. We also would like to thank to all of our partners. We have accomplished our mission for today. Today we have got a really nice event. We have presented our region. We have presented our partners, those that are acting effectively despite the challenges that they are facing today. But we believe in the future. We believe that Ukraine is going to win. We believe that we will continue to develop the business, to develop the human potential in our country. And I would like to thank all of the participants, all our partners, all the technical specialists that helped us during the event today. The video, I would like to thank Tatiana Simchuk for the high quality translation and interpreting, as always. The associations that are the UkraineInvest that is supporting and helping us for the best investment in Ukraine. Also, I would like to remind that between Rivne Regional State Administration and USAID, we have signed the protocol, the cooperation protocol, and we are going to continue doing common events, joint events. So we truly thank them for the support. Thank you to all. Glory to Ukraine.
Welcome to Rivne region, one of the most attractive regions for investment in Eastern Europe. The region is located at the intersection of the international highways and railways. There is an operating international airport near the city of Rivne. The advantageous geographical location turned Rivne into an important logistics center for exporting goods to Europe. Rivne region has impressive natural resources. There are more than 600 mineral deposits. This facilitates active development of manufacturing construction materials and glassware in the region. The supply of water resources in Rivne region is twice higher than the national average. Agricultural land is almost 46% of the total land area of the region. The natural and climatic conditions are favorable for the cultivation of grain and leguminous crops, sugar beet, potatoes, and vegetables. The livestock contributes 1/3 of the gross agricultural output. The availability of own raw materials led to the powerful development of the food industry in the region. Meat, milk and fermented milk, flour, bread and bakery production products are the largest sectors. Locals pick wild berries in the northern part of the region every year, and they have incredible harvests. 40% of the territory of the region is covered with forests. Timber stocks amounts to 120 million cubic meters. The availability of raw materials contributes to the development of the woodworking and furniture industry. It is the priority sector that offers the most promising opportunities for the furniture cluster development in the region.
We chose the Rivne region due to the presence of a sufficient amount of wood, a large industrial site, and the necessary infrastructure. An important investment factor is the operation of a significant number of furniture factories in the region. The local government understands the need to develop this sector and therefore promotes the creation of new industries. Kronospan is investing more than 400 million euros in the new manufacturing facilities. We install the most groundbreaking equipment on our production lines. We also focus on strategic development. That's why we created Kronospan Rivne, the first private industrial park in the region with an area of almost 90 hectares.
Qualified and competitive human capital, formed thanks to the high level of education, determines the economic potential of the region. Every year, more than 4,000 specialists in the food, forestry, textile, and machine building industries graduate from 24 vocational training institutions of the region. Furthermore, there is a unique on-demand training program in the region. The Regional Employment Services will train any number of specialists, free of charge, in accordance with the specific requirements and the Investors Program. Annually, more than 10,000 young specialists with the relevant majors, who know foreign languages, graduate from 13 higher educational institutions of Rivne region. This affects the rapid development of the service sector in the region. First of all, it relates to information technologies. The local government is making every effort to improve the investment climate. The city of Rivne, the regional capital, is among the top 10 European cities with the best economic efficiency. The city has modern infrastructure for business and recreation. Rivne region is a comfortable region for the development of your business. Contact us, and we will help you implement your project.